All right, so today we're going to be breaking down Gary Halbert's famous How to Collect from Social Security at Any Age ad. So again, this is decades old, but it was something that generated millions and millions and millions of dollars. And today we're going to explain exactly why that happened, why it was so powerful, why it worked, and how you can also replicate it for yourself as well. So let's get to the ad itself. The first thing that we can see is that this is basically a simple benefit headline. So sometimes you have headlines which invoke secrets that refer to certain stories or new discoveries or something controversial, but this is a very straightforward, to the point headline: how to collect from Social Security at any age. So this presupposes that the target audience knows about the topic a lot, and obviously, since we're talking about Social Security, the target audience for this ad knew about it. So Gary knew this, and he didn't really want to beat around the bush. He just wanted to create something simple, effective, to the point. And as we go through the ad, we can notice things like that reinforce this message, basically, that this ad, this promotion, this sales letter isn't so long at all. In fact, it's only a couple of hundred words. I don't think it even hits 1,000 words. But all these things, but he managed to create a very direct message that resonates with people and that pulled in a lot of response. And that's why we're talking about direct response marketing here, because we want to generate response directly from people right from the ad itself. So the ad opens up with the question: would you like to know how much money you have invested in Social Security right now, to the penny? And this is, again, it's a direct lead, is that we call it. It gets to the point, and it opens up an interesting loop in people, because why wouldn't they want to know? They know that they have to pay a lot of money, and I mean, a lot of money gets deducted from their paychecks every single month, and to most of them, to be honest, this might seem as if, the government is stealing that money. So they obviously want to know, and deep down, they crave a way to maybe get some of this money back. And this what this ad is about, to be honest. Another interesting point is that right in the lead itself, we call the first few paragraphs, the first part of the ad, a lead, because it leads people into the sales message. Gary starts talking about walking them through the process very, very early on. So he basically just poses this question: hey, do you want to know this thing? And then if you want to find out, here's what you have to do. Here's how it works. And again, this is super effective. You don't always have to come up with crazy stories and various persuasion triggers that go around and make people interested in this stuff. No, sometimes you can be direct as well. Obviously, in today's market and in most markets, this wouldn't necessarily work so well, especially for so-called front-end offers. So offers which are exposed to cold traffic, so people who have never heard about you, for example, because the competition is just so strong, and most niches, most markets are very, very competitive, and you need to find a new unique mechanism, a new discovery or something like that to really differentiate yourself. But in this case, it definitely worked. And another interesting thing is that this whole sales argument kind of gets flipped on its head, because we're talking about things like a confidential sealed envelope here. So this serves as proof, and in every single sales message that you write, there has to be a promise and there has to be a proof. Gary Bencivenga wrote a lot about these things. He was big on proof marketing, because anybody can make promises. Anybody can hype something up and make it seem like something irresistible, something unique, something wow that I want it. But you also have to put a lot of proof behind it, especially nowadays, because people are skeptical. They don't believe it. They've been promised so many things before, and most of the people who promised these didn't deliver. So it's really important to always put a lot of proof behind your promises. And right from the start, Gary does a great job from this, because we're talking about a confidential sealed envelope. This flips the script because it seems like an official document from the government itself. And people are obviously more attentive for this, especially when it comes to their taxes. Also, we have things like earnings have been recorded. So like we want them to discover how much of their earnings have been recorded in their social security account and year after year, and how much they can eventually get back. So this starts to trigger people's greed emotion. And greed is very important in copywriting. Most people are greedy. And you don't have to take this in the wrong way. Greed just means that we want more of something. The other big motivator is fear. It's quite the opposite. It's like how you can avoid something, like a painful situation or something. And then, the headline itself is repeated here one more time: how to collect from Social Security at any age. And it's a good pitch, because it immediately moves into bullets, and bullets are very important in copywriting. I'll talk about several of these in detail in a minute, but just know that bullets, basically, they're just like bullets. They're quick, short, powerful. They just grab attention, they tease something, they create desire, they appeal to certain emotions, and each bullet has a powerful effect on how aroused you are in emotional perspective. And it's really important to evoke this emotional perspective, because people buy based on emotions, and then they justify with their decision with logic. And although this ad doesn't really spend so much time, again, on evoking those emotions and on agitating the pains that the audience has and everything, it goes immediately into kind of like a promise and like desire building bullets, but it's still important to highlight these things. Gary also goes on to preemptively answer a few objections here by saying that this book is going to really open your eyes. So essentially, he's selling a book that people should order in order to find out more and discover whether they can get more money back or not. And as we can see, there's going to be lots of bullets. So every little paragraph here, which has this black little bullet, is a bullet. And each one appeals to an emotion. And as you can see, there are lots of how-to bullets. So these are some people call them lazy bullets nowadays because they're the most straightforward and, let's say, easy to write ones. But it's definitely a good idea in your own promotions or marketing materials, for landing pages or sales pages, or maybe even video scripts, to not only say what people will discover with how-tos, but also like basically tell very similar things but angled differently. So it's like you can say secret bullets, or like number bullets, like the 7 secret tips that no one knows about. Find out more on page 26 or something. So you tease something, you create fascinations, and bullets themselves have been renamed fascinations later on by a company called Boardroom and others as well. But to my knowledge, Boardroom was the first to really use fascinations. And those types of bullets really nail down the secret aspect, the what to avoid, the what never to eat on an airplane. This is like a famous headline, but it was a bullet at one point. It was a fascination, what never to eat on an airplane. It just creates curiosity, and people just want to know it. But back in those days, Gary could get away with a bunch of how-to bullets, and they're still effective, like super effective. And let's just see a bunch of these bullets and what makes them so effective. So for example, if we check this out, like how to collect your share of the brand new Social Security benefits just passed by Congress. So again, as someone's reading this, they're like, so what's this about? Is there a new opportunity that I don't know about? Like, I want to learn more. Or like, how to increase your Social Security benefits. It's something simple, something to the point, but it's all about greed. It's all about getting more money, and people want this. Or how to report your farm income for Social Security. This bullet is a qualifier bullet, basically. We want to qualify people. We want to call out people who a certain segment of our target audience who this would be a perfect fit for. How to make your whole family eligible for Social Security. So again, this is greed. This is even better. Like, I can make more money. Even my entire family can make more money. Even better. How can I not want this? These two bullets share common pain points that people have, and this is why I said that good bullets and good copy appeals to emotions. So let me show you, like, how to replace a lost Social Security card, how to replace a lost Social Security check, because people know that if they lose something like this, in those days it was a problem, and by knowing how to like still get Social Security, even if they lost the card or the check, that would be easily worth much more than the price of this book. So it just creates a no-brainer, and it's like it appeals to common pain points, and it gives them a solution right away. Studies show that 2 out of 3 people overpay. This is just proof. Again, we want to officialize the promises that we make. How to figure out what your Social Security retirement pay should be. This just makes everything easy. So at any time that you can make work that people have to do in order to make money, for example, easier, or the work that they have to do to lose weight easier, the better, because people want easy, people want quick, people want magic pill solutions. That's the truth. Should you tattoo your Social Security number on your body? This is like a pattern interrupt. It's like, what? Should I tattoo it? Why? Or it just creates a pattern interrupt in people's minds as they are reading this or scrolling through this. It just stops them and makes them interested even more. What papers do you need in order to file a Social Security claim? This is also a common pain point because people don't want to deal with paperwork, and if this book helps them discover what they need, that's even better. How 10 million people who are only 30 years old on the average collect Social Security. This is a very strong specific. Well, it could be like 10,800,052 or something, but even 10 million, it creates specifics, and thereby it kind of acts as a proof element in itself. Should you get a divorce in order to get more Social Security? A lot of people already have. This is, again, like, what the fuck? Should I get a divorce? Should I? Shouldn't I? Like, what's up with this? It just creates, this is why it's a fascination, because it creates curiosity that people can only solve if they buy the book. It's really, really smart. Should you have 2 Social Security cards? Again, this is greed, to get double the money. How to get a huge lump sum Social Security payoff. This is instant gratification. Again, people just want something instantly. They just want it on the spot. These bullets here have an us versus them mentality. And again, for most sales messages, this is important, especially in, let's say, in financial markets, because a lot of people believe that there's like big government or big banks or big pharma, and they're always trying to screw the little guy. And then us, the little guys, have to stick together and expose the lies of Wall Street and big pharma and big companies. And by doing this us versus them correctly, the copywriter can have an important and powerful rapport with people immediately, because they have a common enemy, and that's a very, very powerful persuasion trigger. Let's see, what else? When are the 5 times you should get in touch with your Social Security office? This is, again, very specific. It makes it credible. Like, I didn't know I have to get in touch with them 5 times, and I certainly didn't know when should I do that. So now I have to read it. Here's a big pain point: how to get hospital and Medicare insurance for the aged. Because a lot of companies, a lot of medical insurance companies don't want to give insurance to chronically ill people or more aged people. And this is a big pain point. And the surprising revelation for this is in the book, of course. Security benefits that are only for veterans. Again, greed. So a lot of people think like, veterans are getting more Social Security, so how can I also get more just like them? This part here, it's a price anchor. So this is a very short sales piece. And Gary jumps to the offer quite quickly after the bullets, but it's a good psychological trigger to, before presenting your price, you just anchor it to a higher price. So in this case, it's like, although this book can mean hundreds or even perhaps thousands of dollars for you, it is priced at only $3. So this is a very strong price anchor, because the upside of this book is thousands of dollars, and the cost, the pain, because everybody feels pain that when they spend money usually, the downside is only $3. So it makes the offer an irresistible offer in a sense. Then Gary goes on to answer a few objections, like how, you know, this book will help you qualify, and how to do this and that and do all the dirty work for you. Then there's a money back guarantee, and reducing risk is very important for each sales message that you create, because people don't want to risk it. Even if it's just $3, they don't want to risk it. And by saying that, you know, this is like a 100% no risk offer, so that they get their money back basically, it just raises conversion rates way higher. What else we have? We have a knock 'em off the fence part here. This just means that at this point people are kind of on board, but some of them are on the fence, and this just knocks them off the fence. This just makes it an irresistible offer, a no-brainer, because Gary says that if you do not take advantage of your new Social Security benefits, you are only cheating yourself. After all, you have already paid for them. So it just makes it a no-brainer. Then we have some ordering instructions here, like what to do, where to send your coupon, what to do exactly. This is again very important, because people feel a lot of anxiety and even pain when they have to purchase something. So by explaining everything step by step on what will happen exactly, this lowers their anxiety and makes them much more likely to buy this thing. Then we have some more proof at the end, because this is like backed by the government and stuff like that. And at the end we have like a call to action, an order form, which is kind of it's a first person call to action, which even marketers today are using. A lot of them are using. So it says, please send me X copies of your report, how to collect from Social Security, blah blah blah. So this just makes it more likely for people to actually do it, because they start to rationalize the whole thing. Once they read this, it's as if it was their own internal monologue that said this, okay? So it's a more of an advanced strategy, but even if you go to various landing pages or sales pages nowadays, you find a lot of call to action buttons with this type of text. So even though this was a very old promotion, and as you can see, there are some order forms that people had to send back in the mail, the same principles still apply. You could easily run something like this as a brand new landing page, as a brand new funnel, a front-end offer, and you can just change this to a digital call to action, and basically that's it. So hope you enjoyed this. I encourage you to read the ad yourself. You can just search for it, or I'll just leave some links to the entire swipe file like collection of articles and ads that I analyzed here. But I hope you get a lot of value from this, and see you in the next video.